Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
What's up?
Today is Tuesday, May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. And today is a big episode.
A big episode?
Big episode.
Somebody should have told me about this before.
Episode 69, baby. Episode 69. We made it. All right, The whole point of the podcast was to make it to episode 69, so this will be the last episode.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Seriously, I actually, it's kind of, I don't know if I expected us to make it this far, but
No, every time I see the number, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah,
That's a
for
lot
real.
of nonsense that's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, we got the NFL draft. We got Aaron Rodgers potentially making his way out of Green Bay. And we got the NBA playoff picture, I would say, almost completely being formed at this point. But before we get into that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at AaronCo29. But yeah,
if you don't, you're just really fucking lazy.
Honestly, you're lazy.
And you're a bad person.
Yeah. Support us.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Come on.
All right.
God,
Let's just hop into it, though. The NFL draft happened. I was supposed to pull up.
Is that kind of like shit happens? The NFL draft happens?
Yeah, for real. So I would say, overall, nothing like crazy, but there was some, I would say, slight eyebrow raisers here and there. I mean, obviously the main one being Trey Lance going number 3. Not necessarily an eyebrow raiser in that, it wasn't a crazy reach or anything, but
A little bit.
I mean, yeah, you could say it was, but
Yeah.
but also, I mean, Mac Jones got picked at 15 or 16, so maybe that's more of a reach.
Could be. We'll
So,
find out. I guess
Yeah, we'll find out.
ask me in 5 years. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I
you're
think
right.
Justin Fields is going to be better than him. So
you're right. There wasn't anything that was just completely blasted. Usually, there's a couple of picks or trades that everybody's like, "What the fuck were they thinking?" And I didn't see anything like that this year, really.
there was, I think, the Saints pick that was valued at like second or third round, but there's like one or two of those every year. Where I mean, the Seahawks last year, yeah,
the Seahawks every year.
yeah, every time they have a first round pick. But yeah, I mean, overall nothing crazy. I will say, I mean, I'm just gonna look through the picks here, and I mean, you got the obvious ones at the top, Trevor and Zach. Sorry, I'm gonna go 1 and 2, and then Kyle Pitts to the Falcons. I think he's a great player. I just don't know what his career looks like in Atlanta, but
I think he'll put up numbers. But they might need to move him to linebacker or something to tackle somebody. One thing, nothing crazy happened that day, but if you put the 49ers trade with that pick, if you splice those two things together, like if they had done it that day, that whole thing would have. So they move all those first round picks to go up and draft a guy who can't play yet, probably, and was the least accurate player in the draft in terms of he threw a lot of screens, plays past the line of scrimmage, very inaccurate. So if I don't think the pick is that horrible, but if you couple the trade and the pick, it's like, whoa, they gave up all that for him, huh?
Yeah,
That sounds more like a Trevor Lawrence type trade.
Yeah, no,
obviously they weren't going up to number 1.
Yeah, it does. I would say the other, I guess, slight surprises would be Devontae Smith being the 3rd wide receiver taken. I don't know if anyone really expected that. Jalen Waddle going number 6 to the Dolphins, along with Jamar Chase going to the Bengals at number 5. Both of those receivers being paired up with former teammates, interestingly enough. Also, I forgot to mention this on last episode. Nick Saban now has 8 first-round picks from the 2017 recruiting class.
It's just absurd.
So it's the best recruiting class of all time, hands down.
And, yeah, I think any way you say it,
Any way you slice it, best recruiting class.
College, because there are two ways to look at them. College performance and the NFL draft.
Yeah,
and I think they get both of those nods. Yeah.
Yeah. Just crazy. And then Penei Sewell's fallen all the way down to Mr. Dan Campbell, kneecap biter.
I think some people are gonna regret that.
Yeah, no, I mean he's a guy. I think everyone he's the consensus 15-year pro in this draft,
and probably I don't know. I think he'll make some All-Pro teams.
I mean that's
certainly some Pro Bowls.
That's I would say that's the expectation at this point almost. I mean it's unfortunate to put those expectations on a kid, but it's if he doesn't make any All-Pro or Pro Bowl teams, I would say that's probably a disappointment. Honestly,
I think so. I think he's the best tackle prospect, and maybe ever, and certainly in many years.
That's what everyone's saying.
I'm not counting Tony Mandarich, the roid guy.
The other thing would be the Broncos picking a cornerback when they got Drew Lock as their guy. That's one thing we can kind of discuss in tandem with Aaron Rodgers wanting out. The Broncos were a team that were potentially in play, but Gutekunst, the Packers GM, has insisted time and time again. Really, he's just hopping on Zoom calls every day, just saying, like, by the way, we're not trading Aaron Rodgers. We've heard that a lot of times before, and it's tough to say where that actually is going to go. At this point, just, you know what? Just give me an answer. Retires, plays for the Packers, plays for another team next year. What's going to happen?
Man, oh man.
Eric, did you see a picture of him at the Kentucky Derby?
No.
He looks skinny.
Really?
He looks real skinny. And he was also wearing a derby hat.
A derby hat?
Yes. It's called a derby hat.
This kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, there were some little rumblings that they weren't totally getting along there.
Mm.
But they were more like, the Russell Wilson rumblings.
Yeah,
But Russell Wilson never said, I'm not planning on going back there. Has he said flat out, I am absolutely never playing there again, or has it been a little bit more vague than that?
It's been more like, I don't want to go back.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just tough because with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the more emotional guys, I'd say, at the quarterback position especially, and it's tough. I mean, if you're the Packers GM, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, he does look
pretty skinny right there. I couldn't find any other pictures.
Needs to chug a few more beers.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's always tough to say in these situations. I mean, Deshaun Watson's still in that standoff with the Texans.
But that one completely fell off the rails because of 20-some
that's true
sexual misconduct things. Yeah, I think he would have been traded, but nobody could touch him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Except for never mind.
Okay. Yeah. So with Rodgers,
hey, it's our 69th episode. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah. With Rodgers, it's just tough to say. I don't know.
Yeah,
Did you answer my question, by the way?
No.
Okay, answer it.
I don't think they're going to trade him because do you want to be the GM that's remembered for trading Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I'd rather go down in flames
also
and say I did everything I could to bring him back.
Yeah. How is it to be Bryce Love in this situation too? I mean, you're not just following Aaron Rodgers, you're following Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And also you're the reason that that run of quarterbacks is ending too.
Right.
It's not your fault, but you're the reason.
I'm assuming the issue is with the head coach. That hasn't really we don't really know what his problem is. So is this a problem that they can solve? Because I don't think they're going to fire the head coach. Yeah. So, but if it's something else, maybe they can figure that out. I can't imagine him walking away at this stage. It's hard for me to imagine.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd go, but man, he's such a stubborn ass. If he comes back now, it's sort of with his tail between his legs.
Yeah.
So what does he do there? I'm gonna pick he comes back and plays this season, but I don't feel very strongly about that. I don't think they're gonna trade him though. Unless he
I think he's. I just have this weird gut feeling that he's gonna retire.
Wow.
Just
really likes Jeopardy that much.
Yeah. No. I think no. It's not that he likes Jeopardy that much, but I think he sees his options in front of him, and do you want to live in Green Bay for a 17th year and just be depressed in the snow, or do you want to go out to California, record Jeopardy, and just kind of live your life? I mean, it's like I don't know. He seems like a guy that has other interests.
Yeah.
He's won his MVP. He won his Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think he's gonna retire. I don't know.
If that's the case, I wish that he would have just come out, at some point and just said, what the way that you worded it, not I'm unhappy, but I've just decided to retire. They could have made it look pretty, but this, I don't like the Green Bay Packers at all, but I like their fans to some degree. I don't. They're less assholey, I think, than a lot of fans. And I don't know. I like the whole concept of them being owned by the community and all that. So I hate to see a fan base get screwed over like this.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like. So I wish they could have found a better way to do it. You just hate to see a legend leave this way. If he does leave, you just hate to see everybody have a bitter taste in their mouth. It hurts his legacy. He's going to the Hall of Fame no matter what. It's not going to hurt that, but it just
it sucks because I feel like more and more these days. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's always been this way. I feel like there's just more, especially at the quarterback position, but legends leaving their teams in salty ways, and it's just very sudden and I don't know. It just seems weird. There's not. Am I wrong about that? Has this always been a thing where guys just get super pissed off and fucking leave? I
think the players are way more entitled, or I don't know if entitled's even the right word. They have a lot more say, or are desiring more say than ever before. It goes back to, I think the biggest early example is LeBron. Going to Miami, and since then we've seen a lot of situations like that where guys are kind of signing 1-year deals and picking where they want to go. In the 20, 30 years ago, you signed a contract and you just held on for as long as you could. But these guys are so rich after a couple of years that they're not desperate to keep playing so much. So they're more, I don't know. It's different. I'm seeing the players get more and more power. The Russell Wilson thing this year, wanting a say. That stuff didn't happen before. You signed your contract, and I'm sure there was stuff behind the scenes, but you did your job, and they did their job, and that has all changed quite a bit, I think. So.
Yeah, I mean,
that leads to bitter endings. When you think you deserve a say and you're not getting it, that leads to a bitter ending.
Yeah. All right. Also, we got Justin Fields going to the Bears, so I should have waited. Should have waited to say that he was going to be a good quarterback because the Bears just can't have a good QB. True. Unfortunately, but
Sid Luckman was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I believe in him still, so we'll see with him. I mean, you got anything else as far as the draft goes? I like the Rashawn Slater pick for the Chargers. I think everyone really liked that pick.
I liked. I'm someone that usually has a bad knee-jerk reaction about Seahawks draft picks. And I didn't actually watch ESPN's coverage very much this year, so maybe that's why I didn't listen to people. But it seemed like the perception was that they made some good picks. They only had 3.
It was better than the last 2 or 3 years, at least.
And they didn't draft a position that we already have a surplus of.
Yeah.
They drafted. I really like that little receiver. I'll admit I'd never heard of him before he was selected, but
Dwayne Eskridge.
Watching some film on him, he's a tough little fucker, and you need some of those on your team.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna he it has something that the team does not currently have. I think he's gonna help immediately with returns and I don't want to put too big of expectations on him as a slot receiver or a third receiver. That might take some time to develop, but I really like him a lot. And you got an offensive lineman named Stone Forsythe.
I mean, that's just an all-time offensive line name.
That's like, it's a movie. I think you
I
said
will
it
say,
to me. It's like a movie character.
Yeah,
name.
another pretty good one. Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle out of Alabama,
nice.
to the Raiders. Not surprised that's a Gruden guy. But still, it's not as good as Stone Forsythe.
No, it's not.
It's not.
And then they got that corner, and they went out. This is the first corner the Seahawks have ever drafted who has less than 32-inch arms.
Mm-hmm.
So they looked at DJ Reed and were like, okay, I guess you can still play.
That's genuinely what was what we were speculating, and then Pete said it. He was like, DJ Reed opened our minds to that, and then DJ Reed was like hyped on Twitter about that. He was like, let's go. That's right.
I'm seeing a little bit of a change. So for a while, everybody wanted the big receivers, and everybody still wants those. But now there's more sideways game going on with screens and I forget the pattern, but basically a deep cross essentially. Mm-hmm. We're seeing Tyreek Hill type stuff. We're seeing some more smaller receivers succeed. So then you can't have, Richard Sherman can't always in his prime is going to struggle with a Tyreek Hill. So you need a mix just like you do with receivers.
Yeah.
So you can't have a bunch of 6'4" corners who are long. That's great, but you got to have a couple of shifty guys that can cover, some of the little guys too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
So hopefully this guy can do that. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, and then obviously still on Sherm watch for that lanky corner.
Yeah,
that would be a good fit. I'm excited. I would love the opportunity for him to come back and then end his career, because I think he said he only wants to play a couple more years, to end his career on a better note with the Seahawks. And dude, how awesome would it be if he comes back and we win a Super Bowl? I mean, that's that's an all-time football story.
That would be a great story.
So yeah, I would welcome him back with open arms personally.
Name all the Seattle cornerbacks, that you're excited about this season.
All right, moving on.
Hello. Anybody in there?
Yeah.
I mean, I like DJ Reed, but other than that, Trey Flowers, I mean, my God.
Yeah. No, DJ Reed, I'm excited about DJ Reed.
He's a human 12-yard completion. Trey Flowers.
Trey Flowers is. DJ Reed, I'm excited about. I mean, this guy too. You're always excited about draft picks. Also, the undrafted free agents, we got that receiver from South Dakota State that I'm hearing is one of the better undrafted free agents of the bunch. So that's exciting. I think there's plenty of opportunity for him to get a roster spot. So it'll be cool to see what he can do.
We're gonna see hopefully it'd be great to see a Doug Baldwin type. I don't mean necessarily a receiver, but just an undrafted player succeed. There's going to be some chances this year for that to happen.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a minute. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a minute since we've had one of our own late round draft picks or undrafted free agents kind of turn into a really big piece. I mean,
Chris Carson would be the
one. That's the one.
Other than that, it's been guys that have sort of contributed, but no breakout, no Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman kind of guys.
Yeah. All right, you got anything else for the draft?
I don't think so. Other than
you want to talk about nickel
corners. Nobody actually knows anything.
You want to talk about nickel corners?
Nickel corners. So Elijah Molden.
Yeah.
And I'll use him as an example.
Joe Tryon, one of the worst graded draft picks as well.
Yeah. Joe Tryon is first of all, if you're going to draw up a football player, my God.
We were really close to him at the spring game,
Holy cow.
UW spring game, which we'll talk about. And he's just,
I'm actually kind of attracted to him. I'm sorry. I don't tell your mom. But oh my God, that guy is just built like a god.
Yeah.
we talked about this a bit before. Flashed late in 2019. His last month was excellent. Prior to that, he hadn't done a lot. So he's a boomer bust guy. We'll see. He's probably going to be a bust. I mean, I hate to say it, but we'll see.
Just based off the numbers. I mean,
yeah.
if you're playing the odds.
So, and then let's see who else got drafted. Levi Onwuzurike went to the
Lions.
Yeah,
all-time quote from him. Let me look up the Levi Onwuzurike quote while you talk about.
And Elijah Molden, did he go in the third round? I can't remember exactly.
I think it was the third round, but I'm not 100%
might have been late
sure.
third. So Elijah Molden was the best player on the team last year. Now, we know that doesn't always mean success in the NFL. So Joe Tryon is a better physical prospect than Molden. Molden is a corner who is, I think he's probably 5'9.5". Ran, in the 4.5s, I think. Just he had a great. I think he had good vertical. But some of his other measurables weren't necessarily where you want him. But here's what I don't get. So every year, if you watch the draft or see the reports, there's some guy like that gets drafted in the third or fourth round, and you hear, oh, he's going to be a great nickel corner in the league for 10 years.
Yeah. So
I don't know how many people realize this, but nickel corners for most teams are on the field 75% of the time. Even the Seahawks, it's usually well over 50, except for that one year where they had that
Michael Kendricks.
Yeah, the jailbird linebacker. Yeah. But so I'm always confused if someone's gonna give you that sort of success, like what are you waiting for? Like, wouldn't you want to draft that guy higher if he's gonna play? He's not a punter. Even I've seen punters go in the first round. And they're like, oh, he's going to be a great punter for 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, so if you have a player who's on the field 75% of your defensive snaps, man, I would probably prioritize a guy like that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's just.
So why do you think they aren't? Why did those guys slip?
I don't know. I just think the football guys, their brains haven't caught up to the times, and the draft process for some reason hasn't caught up to their own schemes. I mean, they're seeing it. They're designing these schemes, and for some reason their draft process just hasn't caught up. I don't know. I don't know. Is there a difference between college schemes and NFL schemes that make it hard for nickel corners to transfer like that? But I don't really know. I don't understand.
I don't know. In some cases, yeah, UW runs a fairly pro style defense though, so you wouldn't think that would be too big of an issue. It is interesting, and a guy like Richard Sherman going in the 5th round in what was that 2011, 2012, whenever that was. After he succeeded, everybody started drafting guys like that high, first and second round. So maybe the nickel corner, maybe we're just a little behind, like you said, and the meatheads have to catch up with what's actually happening on the field.
I think so. It's becoming a very increasingly important position, and you're still seeing like run stuffing linebackers being picked in the first round, and it's like, what are we doing that for? I mean, that guy can only play 2 downs tops.
Yeah.
It's like.
And I think with Pete and John, they had success with some of those early picks, especially in the secondary. And now everybody is all those guys that Pete and John were ahead of the curve in that regard. So those guys that they would have picked in the later rounds, years ago, are now going in the first and second rounds. So they don't even get a chance to pick. They're not slipping like they used to.
Yeah. All right. So. Anything else on the draft?
No.
All right. Oh, actually, here's the Levi Onwuzurike quote before we move on. Oh, yeah. I like fucking people up. I like to get off the line and just put my helmet or my hands on an offensive lineman and fuck up an offensive scheme pretty much. I like pushing them back 2-3 yards and just making them feel like shit. So that's all-time quote from him.
That's great.
And Kneecaps Campbell is going to be really excited to get him on the roster.
Yeah, he didn't mention that he's going to bite their kneecaps, so I
think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. Is fucking up an offensive scheme and making them feel like shit.
Okay, yeah. I guess if you bite their kneecaps, they feel like shit.
Well, yeah, the thing is, the whole thing about his speech was they were getting knocked down and then biting kneecaps. Levi Onwuzurike likes to make other people feel like shit. So
yeah.
It's actually an upgrade.
Why let them knock you down?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
All right. New York Knicks fans, good morning. How we feeling? The Knicks have secured a winning record for the first time since 2013. They, I believe, are tied in record with the Lakers right now.
Yeah, as of today, I think.
Yeah,
Or
and
yesterday, one of the
just
two.
as a whole, the NBA playoff picture is relatively set. I mean, there's still some movement that can happen with some seeding stuff, but as far as who's in and who's out, I think it's pretty set. Yeah, I mean, hold on, let me just get to the standings real quick, but yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see, I guess, what comes of these play-in games. There's been a lot of controversy. LeBron has kind of taken a stance against them, which we will talk about a little bit later. But yeah, there's, when you got the Lakers sitting at 37-28 and potentially the 31-33 Spurs can just kind of take their spot. It's just a little weird, but
Oh, that would be tasty.
yeah, no, it wouldn't be. But yeah, so that's something we'll discuss a little bit later. But we got the Jazz. Really, here I'll just say what things could kind of switch around at this point. So the Lakers the Lakers are a game ahead of the Blazers. The Lakers are the 5 seed. The Blazers are the 7 seed. The Mavericks are in between them at a half game.
And you don't want to be in the 7 spot because
No.
then you got to play
The 7 spot,
stuff.
yeah, the 7 spot is where the play-in stuff happens, so that's why that's important. The Pelicans are 2.5 games out of the 10 seed, but just looking at their schedule, I don't think it's going to happen for them. Yeah, and then up at the top, the Jazz and the Suns. The Suns are now a half game back of the Jazz after this week. The Suns do have a tougher schedule for sure than the Jazz as well, so it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of pull it out late there. But yeah, and then in the East, we got everything's pretty much set in the East, I would say. I mean, you could have some movement kind of down in the bottom, or I mean the Nets are only a game behind the Sixers still, so that definitely could change. And who knows? The Bucks could make a run. They're only 3.5 games back. They have 8 games left, so I mean that. Who knows?
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah. All right, but it's just kind of crazy seeing the Knicks at the 4 seed right now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected it, and I don't know that I can name a New York Knick.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I mean, I just haven't watched them at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the last Patrick Ewing is probably the I don't think I've watched some basketball here and there. We've watched a few games, but it's mostly been Western Conference that I've watched.
I mean, it's been fun to watch them this year. I've only watched a couple of their games, admittedly, but they're 13-3 over the last month. Julius Randle is having one of the biggest resurgences.
Isn't he a Stanford guy?
No,
Okay.
he's Kentucky.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, but
Different Randall.
I don't know, but he's been great this year, most improved for sure. He did go to Kentucky. Look at me.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So, and then also D Rose. D Rose got traded there.
Yeah.
But there's some other. I mean, he's not the biggest contributor on that team.
Yeah.
You got R.J. Barrett, the draft.
Okay.
Draft
I liked him a lot coming out.
Do you remember the rookie? I sent you the compilation of him hitting a bunch of floaters, and I was like, not very often a rookie has the best of a certain move in the NBA. So they got him too, Emmanuel Quickly. But yeah, just fun to watch, and it'll be hey, the Knicks could have the Hawks in the first round, and they could easily win that series.
Come on, don't take out Mac-10 now. Come on.
Think about this. Knicks beat the Hawks, and then they would play the 1 seed. Do you think the Knicks could beat the Sixers?
I don't think anybody in the Eastern Conference is unbeatable. I mean, the Sixers, they can't, they have issues with shooting. And I think you need to shoot to win in the playoffs these days.
I think the Nets are unbeatable. No team in the East is beating the Nets.
Really?
No, if they're healthy now.
Boy, yeah, I guess.
I don't think so. I want the Sixers to be able to do that just because of some money I laid down earlier this year, but and also just for competition's sake. But
Right.
I want to tell myself that, but I just can't rationalize how you can beat James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. I don't think it can happen. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems
not
unlikely.
Julius Randle and Derrick Rose.
Yeah, probably not.
That's
Probably
for sure.
not.
No, but here's the thing: if the Knicks beat the Hawks in the first round, and by some stroke of luck, I mean, Embiid gets hurt all the fucking time. I mean, so Simmons gets banged up too a lot. So if they, by some stroke of luck, they beat the Sixers, I mean, they're in the conference finals. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. It's certainly possible.
I will say it's fun to see Knicks fans kind of pop out of the woodwork and get really excited.
Yeah.
That will get fucking annoying really fast if they start to get really good. That they will instantly, you'll be like, why did I ever want the Knicks to be good?
I know.
But it's good for the NBA if the Knicks are good. Even
is.
though, I guess, do we even know if that's true?
Probably not.
We don't even know if that's true because the NBA shot up in ratings when Jordan got there, and the Knicks were good. But
the NBA is all about stars. But I think we see LeBron going to LA. What a big deal that is.
Yeah, but everyone says the NBA, it's good for the NBA when the Knicks are good. Like the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. We don't know that.
Yeah, I think that's less true than it used to be, just because everything has shrunk with the coverage and Twitter and everything else that goes on. I don't think it has to be a huge market necessarily. So I don't know that I totally buy that, but yeah, it is weird. It is amazing how that franchise has. I mean, it's probably worse than the Mariners.
Like they've avoided being good. That's how it feels.
Amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah, okay. I just am excited to see in the next week, by the time we record next week, the playoff picture should be pretty much set in stone. Actually, I hope it's not. I hope there's some stuff that comes down to the wire. Sure. What I will say, honestly, like bonus clown of the week right now, NBA for not scheduling any good games for the end of the season.
That's bizarre.
All of them. I mean, here, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go through it because we don't have a ton of stuff to talk about today, so we got time.
Okay.
Here, let me look for the last. Okay, ready? This is Sunday the 16th is the last day of games. Houston at Atlanta, Cleveland at Brooklyn, Milwaukee at Chicago, Miami at Detroit. Like all these,
and we knew those were bad matchups.
And also,
even I knew those were bad matchups
at the beginning of this
before the season started.
But they didn't set the second half of the schedule till the middle of the season.
Oh,
they didn't even release the schedule till the All-Star break.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Boston versus Knicks is good. LA, the Pelicans versus the Lakers will be fun, but I don't think that will mean anything.
It might mean something to the Lakers.
Maybe. Orlando
Pelicans.
Orlando at Philadelphia, Denver at Portland's good. Utah at Sacramento. I mean, it's like that's the last day.
Do you think the thought is that teams maybe want to rest some guys at the end?
I think that maybe is, but I don't know, man.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Why?
Because you're trying to cram in this season after a short break. Maybe they're like, we need to ease up at the end to give guys, play less minutes or sit out a game or two.
But then why do you have Brooklyn going on a back-to-back to end the season? They play Chicago and then Cleveland back-to-back to end the season. Like, don't put them on a fucking back-to-back then.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, it's just how you had the whole off season, and then you had the whole first half of the season to fucking figure this out.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck, man? Why are there no interesting games for? And those are just the last. I didn't even go into the last like few days before that, but there's no interesting games for like. I mean, really, the last interesting games are like coming up in a few days. there's like a week of uninteresting games.
The only other thing I can think of is if they like have a COVID scare.
True. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you don't want guys having COVID going in the playoffs. I don't know. I think it sucks too.
Is that? I mean, that's not normally the case, right? You usually have some good matchups.
Yeah, you always want the biggest games at the end of the season.
Yeah. Because I mean, how cool is it to, a lot of the times you don't get to see. I mean, we didn't get to see Lakers Clippers last year in the playoffs, for example.
Yeah.
In a seat, if the battle was a little bit closer at the end of the year for seeding, and you got to see a Lakers Clippers battle towards the end of the year, fighting for seeding for first seed, that's like a really interesting game.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, you got anything?
There's one thing that I need to bring up that I haven't brought this up for a long time, and I've been remiss, and I want to apologize to the audience. Fuck Howard Schultz.
Oh, fuck Howard Schultz.
I haven't said that for a few podcasts.
It's been a minute. Fuck Howard Schultz.
Yeah. So fuck him, and fuck him again.
Fuck him, yeah. All right. Do the Mariners suck? Probably.
Yeah, I think so. But they keep kind of,
Oh no, we suck again.
They beat the Angels 2 out of 3, so they kind of keep, but they're, what are they? I don't know, are they 15 and 13 or something like that? They lost yesterday. Yeah, I mean they can't. Their batting average it's so terrible. So bad. They have like 2 guys hitting over 200.
It's actually like it's
so bad.
I was looking at it and it was unbelievable.
It's amazing. I mean they've just had a great run by the bullpen. The starters. What I like, though, I'm seeing a couple of starters. I'm seeing Dunn pitch well at times. Sheffield has. I haven't looked at all of his outings, but he had a. I think he allowed no runs over a good stretch. Last time out. So that's what I like to see, is guys that Sheffield is going to be on the team 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So I want to see guys like him succeed. Mitch Haniger, whatever. I just want him to be good enough so maybe they could trade him or something. But yeah,
He's
so
the
yeah,
best
but
player
yeah,
on
they
our
suck.
team,
They're not going to make the fucking playoffs, guys. So just chill out.
Yeah.
I wish they would. And I'll be on the bandwagon hardcore if they do. I'll jump my ass back on that bandwagon.
We're not. It's not. You can't call us
bandwagons.
Fans. Yeah.
We're still fans.
Yeah.
I'm still paying attention.
We're not excited. Like you can't blame us for having a lack of excitement.
Put a major league club on the field and I'll get excited. There's still half of a minor league team on the field.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the UW spring game. So it was cool. I mean, it was. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, if I've been to a spring game, I don't remember it. Maybe
it was probably when you were really little.
Yeah.
And
and this seemed like really solid competition. Seemed like guys were getting hit out there. Guys were guys were going full speed. It seemed, and Jimmy was out there and excited. Gave a good speech afterwards. Yeah. I mean, what'd you think?
I thought it was fun. I think it's so interesting how different Jimmy is than Chris Peterson.
Yeah.
And please don't take this in any way as anything negative about Chris Peterson. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. In his sample size, let me word it that way. But he was sort of no frills kind of guy. So. He didn't give a shit about the fans coming to a spring game and having a good time and seeing some football. He begrudgingly, he would have left the gate locked if he could have, probably.
Yeah.
For him, it was all about getting ready for the season. And I don't have a huge problem with that attitude.
Because ultimately, I feel like with Husky football, it's about like the product on the field first. Yeah. That's number one. Put out a good product on the field. We'll be fine with what surrounds that for the most part.
But Jimmy's trying to create a buzz, and I do think that helps recruiting.
And not only, but it's also just more exciting in general, and it's more fun. It's just a lot more fun to be a fan of a Jimmy Lake coach team than a Chris Peterson coach team. And 100%, that's what we were talking about. There is, like, kids come and see Jimmy Lake getting, he wants to get the stadium packed out for spring games. Yeah. If a kid can come out and see 30K at a spring game, that's like that's a big boost for them as far as knowing what support they're gonna get when they come to Seattle and put on the purple and gold.
Especially on the West Coast where that just doesn't happen. There are places where they sell out their spring game.
So yeah,
Nebraska and you know, some SEC schools, I think. So
and that's like you start competing with You start competing with SEC teams for recruits when they see, look, like I could go down there in the SEC and probably back up some future Hall of Famer for a while, but it's this crazy atmosphere. Or I can go up to the Pacific Northwest, play Pac-12 football, you know, still Power 5 conferences, maybe get a better opportunity, still get coached up and put out, you know, I mean,
guys are getting in the
league.
League.
Guys are getting into the league more than anyone else in the Pac-12, and you see that awesome environment still with the greatest setting in football.
That's right.
It's like, come on. I mean, you know, that's huge. That's a huge recruiting piece.
And I thought it was great. I mean, there were, you know, they could only allow 9,000 people in. The reports I heard that they did, you know, all those tickets were claimed, and then about 7,500 people showed up. The weather was questionable, so I was actually pleasantly, you know, it was. People thought it was going to rain, so
we were prepared for rain.
I was pleasantly surprised to see as many people as we did there.
Yeah,
because you know, there's even COVID wasn't restricting prior spring games attendance. Just nobody wanted to go.
Yeah.
So I just love it. I love, you know, I think Jimmy, when things open up and he can host players, like. He gets that part of it. Like he understands what it, you know, having a little swagger and having a little pizzazz. And, he gets that part of it. So I think the recruiting he had last recruiting class was not the greatest. It was still good, but he also couldn't have in-person stuff. And I just think he's a closer.
Yeah. I agree with that. And then also it's tough when there's just a change of staff and then can't meet in person. All these changes are happening and you can't, I guess, answer for a lot of the questions that will naturally be raised as you have staff moving in and out like that. And I'm just excited to see what's in the future. I'm a full Jimmy Lake believer at this moment. He's got me fucking hyped.
On
honestly.
paper, he's got everything you want as a head coach.
He has me more excited about UW football. Not more excited as far as my hopes for them on the field, but he's got me more excited to be a UW football fan than I've been since I've been a kid, like since Sark came, pretty much, because that was my first like foray into like hope.
We're allowed to win.
Yeah, expect to win. Expect to win. What the fuck? We don't expect to win.
No.
That was Sark's. What do you call it? Like his motto or whatever.
Yeah, I think
expect to win.
Motto,
yeah, slogan. I don't know,
whatever.
But. All right, you got anything else with the spring game? I mean, it was cool to see some older UW guys out there. Jermaine Kearse, you know, Joe Tryon was out there.
There were a bunch of guys, and I'm not good at identifying.
No,
them,
there was. We could tell. We could tell.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's a former player. That's a former player. Yeah. Like, we were pretty close to the field. I just want to be, who are you?
You know, the defense. Here's the thing: we never know. You know, they're competing against each other. We don't know how good they really are. I think the defense is going to be really good. The offense, you know, it's hard to say. They were very vanilla in the spring game in part because we were there, and he's not going to reveal anything other than their base offense.
And I like that. I like that Jimmy's still trying to get the house packed, still trying to create excitement, but he's not out there showing the whole playbook. You know, I think he's playing this really well. So there's no point in like when you're doing a spring game. I feel like there's no point in like really running through that whole playbook anyway, even if there's no fans, because what are you doing? I mean, you still got 6 months. I mean, you know?
Yeah, I declared Patrick O'Brien the starter before the spring game, and Dylan Morris definitely looked better in this situation. We'll see. I think there's going to be some competition for that in fall camp. I'll tell you one thing. It's nice to know that you have. If something does happen to the starter, you're going to be just fine with your backup. So that was cool. I you know, the big thing for me, and they're going to have a great running backs, a great offensive line. playmakers on the outside is the big question mark. So we'll see how that develops, and we'll find out in September.
Maybe we'll be perfectly fine with how Patrick O'Brien looks on the field, but I am not perfectly fine with how his hair looks.
Oh God,
that fucking
man!
It's just like straight.
That really bothered you,
dude. Yeah, I mean, it looks like. I mean, here, this is what it looks like. It looks like he put a hat on and then like just buzzed it right here. Just had his mom buzz it around the sides. And it's not a bowl cut because he pushes it back, but if it went forward and down, it would be a bowl cut. So I can't have my quarterback have a bowl cut.
Okay.
It just can't happen. Sorry, Patrick O'Brien, you'll never be a good quarterback. Get a fucking haircut, dude. Like, please, seriously. All right, you got anything else for the spring game though?
No, I'm just I can't wait to get back in the stadium.
Yeah.
For a
oh
real
my
game.
God. Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. It was. I was saying it was so great to be back in there, but it's just not the same when it's not packed out. So yeah, really excited. But Quincy Pondexter, is that Coupon? Is that the Coupon I'm thinking of? Quincy Pondexter is the new UW basketball assistant after actually a pretty lengthy NBA career. A lot of it with the Spurs. Just kind of very, very, very limited role under Popovich. But, yeah, good to see him kind of coming back through. I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. I never know what to make of these.
Yeah.
I'm always a little skeptical when NBA guys come back because I just wonder, I mean, he's a multimillionaire, so does he have the drive? I don't know. Maybe he does.
It's hard to say because it's like he's a multimillionaire. Does he have the drive? But it's also he's a multimillionaire, so he doesn't need this. Yeah. Because he had a long NBA career.
Yeah,
I mean, he could be getting his money in other ways that don't involve 12-hour days in the film room.
Yeah.
So,
but is he gonna give
that's
us
true.
the 12 hours?
That's true.
That's my question.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything really about him as a guy. So but hey, he was a really good UW basketball player.
Another one of my early favorites. As a UW player.
So you were like, I think 10 years old or so his last year, and he put up 19 a game or something like that. It was a really good little, he was a huge recruit that was at first a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Hovering around 10 points a game, but then he popped senior year and looked really good. Turned himself into a first round pick.
Yeah.
The NBA career didn't pop maybe like he'd hoped, but hey, anybody who stays in the damn league for a decade did all right.
Ultimately, that's a successful fucking career.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Yeah. It wasn't like he was the number one pick.
Yeah. Okay. We got kind of circling back to being excited about fans in the stadium. 22K is the new number, and like there's vaccine sections. I don't know.
I didn't totally understand.
I didn't read the full thing
but I
either.
like the thought.
Yeah. So apparently, apparently there's new laws being passed where could be potential vaccine sections in stadiums and arenas, as well as the numbers being bumped up to 22K. So that's just good news.
Yeah.
Who knows really what that means?
I
could see that going up too by the start of the season. So.
I've said on this podcast a few times, and it might piss a few people off about vaccines, but I have no patience for people who aren't going to get the vaccine. But so I like that. Like, in a vax section, you could. I'm assuming this means you could kind of fill those up.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the other sections where they have to remain socially distanced.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the way to do it.
So I like
fucking
that.
Get vaccinated so we can fill up the fucking stadium, you assholes.
I like that.
Sorry.
But if a vaccine requirement means you can make more fans go, then it's becomes to me you cannot bitch about wanting to go back to normal life and not get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Like there's no more bitching about not about how life is weird right now if you're not going to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Just go get it. And I would like, if it's a full vaccine requirement by the start of the college football season, guess what? I have my vaccine, and if that means we can pack out the house, fucking let's do it.
Yeah.
And who cares? I mean, if you don't have it, then you don't have it.
Yeah.
Like everyone, you have an opportunity. This isn't like voter suppression or anything. Like there's no vaccine suppression to my knowledge.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the point where everybody will have had an opportunity to get vaccinated. Yeah. So I know there are a lot of people out there still looking for appointments. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who just aren't going to do it. Mm. And those are the people I have a problem with. So when we get to the point where nobody's raising their hand anymore, then okay, then fuck everybody who doesn't want it at that point.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All right. I mean, what else? I feel like there hasn't been a ton going on as far as sports news this week.
I don't think I really had anything else.
Well, in that
selling. Oh, my thing is dying. Okay, let's do it. Just hit the button.
It's the Howard Schultz Clown of the Week.
The Clown of the Week.
Yeah. All right. You know how I had a bonus Clown of the Week that was the NBA? Well, double Clown of the Week for the NBA actually.
Wow. Okay.
For this play-in situation. Here's the thing. As a fan, the play-in stuff is actually kind of cool, just because it's exciting. But
it's fun.
Here are the unintended consequences. You start the season early. All your stars get injured. Now, all of a sudden, the Lakers have the opportunity to get eliminated by a 10 seed in a 3-game series instead of a 7-game series. Why should the Spurs have an easier shot at beating the Lakers over any other team?
I didn't hear you saying this a couple of weeks ago when the Lakers were the 4 seed.
No, I did. I said if you're within a game or a game and a half, you should have a shot. But if you're 5 games back, that's fucking stupid. No one wants to see the Spurs in over the Lakers. Like let's just fucking like the whole idea of doing this was to create buzz and excitement for the earlier rounds of the playoffs. Like all you're doing is taking that away by giving the chance of LeBron not making if LeBron doesn't make the playoffs, like
you're gonna have to shut your mouth.
It's like no, I mean, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. But you're like weirdly enough giving a bad team an easier chance to beat the best team in the league.
I think I would have just gone with the 8-9. 8 versus 9.
Yeah.
I don't like the 7-10.
Yeah, why is the 7 seed being brought into this?
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, if you're gonna do that, then just have another full series.
Just get everyone that's involved. That's a game, like within a game.
Yeah,
that's it, and then just figure it out.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. The format, but as a fan, it's exciting, and as somebody who doesn't really give a shit who gets in or who doesn't get in, it's exciting.
Yeah,
to see that. But it's a little bit, like the MLB, the play-in game. Now they have 2 wild cards, so it's fine. But remember, they had you could win win your division, right, and lose 1 game and you're out.
Yeah.
So this feels a little bit too much like that.
Yep. Yeah. A little bit. All right, who do you got?
My clown of the week is LeBron James.
Oh
baby.
My God.
King James. So a year ago, so if there's 5 or 10 games left, why not hold on. Why not let those guys battle it out, make them play each other all 5 games? So he's basically wanting a play-in tournament back then.
That's out of context. I think that's referring to the bubble specifically.
Nah.
I don't know.
So he's all for that sort of thing, and now he says whoever came up with that shit needs to be fired.
And also the playing game worked differently last year. It wasn't just straight 7 versus 10 seed. It was if you're within 2.5 games.
Oh, he would love it this year.
No. It's not the same at all.
He doesn't like it because
it's not the same at all.
He's only one.
No,
game.
He doesn't like it because these rules are fucking stupid.
He's only 1 game out of the 7 seed right now. They have a 1-game lead. They're 1 game out of slipping to the 7 seed.
They had good rules last year. They had a good playing game system last year.
He didn't think it affected
him. It's fucking stupid this year.
He didn't think it impacted him this year because he's all about LeBron James, and that's it.
All right, whatever. All right, player of the week or lock of the week?
Maybe they shouldn't have played him 40 minutes. I know I keep saying this. You know why he got hurt? Because he was playing 40 minutes a game.
I don't know, man.
After a short break. What the fuck were they doing?
Every other star's been hurt this year, though.
Yeah.
Every other star's been hurt.
But we kind of knew this was going to happen. With
Okay,
the short break.
So it's the NBA's fault then. So we can't just circle back to blaming LeBron.
Well, I think I don't blame LeBron for the players getting hurt. I blame the pandemic for that.
Okay.
Like I think that they couldn't push the season back real far, and they didn't want to shorten it a whole lot. I think they did the best they could
because they wanted their Christmas Day money. That's why.
I think the team should have. Well, yeah, and the players want to get paid too. It ain't just about the owners. I think that, we wanted to watch it on. We wanted to watch the games too.
Yeah,
we wanted the games. The fans want the games. So I think it was a unique circumstance, but I think the team should have managed it better and maybe spread out the minutes. And not have your superstars playing full. Maybe a little bit more load management.
Yeah.
It seems like they did less load management this year than they have in years where it was unnecessary.
Point, yeah.
LeBron was doing more load management 10 years ago than he's doing now, for Christ's sake. Clown.
Okay.
Fucking clown.
All right.
Second best player of all time.
All right, whatever. All right, my lock of the
week. It's good to know that I just totally won the GOAT argument right there. It feels so good.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. What's your lock of the week?
It doesn't matter. No. My lock of the week is, can you just take a wild guess what I'm going with?
I don't know.
Nets Bucks over 242. Fuck yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Gonna go over 250.
That's
I'm telling you right now.
That's a good pick. What's really funny is I had a lock of the week, and I'm currently blanking on it. So I'm pretty sure my lock of the week. Okay, what day is it? The 4th. Yeah. Okay. No, my lock of the week was most certainly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh my God, who's my player of the week? I'm just blanking. My lock of the week is going to be. Oh, it was the Suns. The Suns points tonight against the Cavs. I just think they're gonna fucking smoke them.
Yeah, that sounds like a 30-point.
I think they're just gonna smoke them. I don't know what the points are, but take them.
That sounds like a 144 to 98 kind of game.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the Pacers for blowing out the Thunder by the most points
ever on a that's the biggest point spread ever by a home.
Also, I think it got up to 68 was the biggest gap.
So they got destroyed on their home court.
57-point blowout.
And the thing that sucks about that is they lost that game by, was it 57 points?
Yeah.
And then they had to walk outside the arena, and they were in Oklahoma.
Sucks.
That really sucks. I mean, I feel for those guys.
Sucks, man.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, my God. Can you do the player of the week? Because for some reason, I just
Player of the week. I could talk more about Michael Jordan, how he's the best player of all time. And he never would have been in danger of slipping to the 7 seed. I'm just stalling for you. That's all.
No, go do your player of the week. Also, yeah, it's because he fucking lost in the first round. He was busy.
What?
He was busy fucking not making the playoffs and losing in the first round for the first fucking decade of his career. That's why.
6 titles.
First fucking decade of his career, he's fucking just losing. That's all he did.
Never lost a title. Never lost the finals.
Yeah, but he fucking lost way. LeBron's never lost in the first round, it's way better to lose in the finals than it is the first round. I don't know why people don't fucking understand that. It's so fucking dumb. Losing in the fucking finals is definitely you would way rather lose in the first round than losing in the fucking finals. That's oh my God.
Well, maybe
fucking
if Jordan
idiots,
could have formed his own team.
Idiots. Okay, fucking who's your fucking player, dude? Who's your fucking player? Who's your player?
I'm gonna go with. Oh my God, I'm gonna go with Jimmy.
All
Give
right.
me Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a good
They got
pick.
Mavs, the 12s.
12s.
And the Celtics twice. We know the Celtics are gonna underachieve because that's what they do for some reason.
Yeah.
So the Celtics have pissed me off because I keep thinking they're gonna pop and they never pop.
Mm-hmm.
The bubble bursts every fucking year. That's the only way they pop.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Jimmy time.
Okay.
He's gonna put some people in the bucket this week.
I like that. Okay. God, how did I just? This has never happened to me. I so blanked on both my lock and my player. Let's see. I think my player of the week fuck it, John Morant. I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'll switch that. I'll switch that. I think so. LaMelo has shown some flash coming back. He's made some highlight plays. I think he's just getting into the swing of it. You know, they're playing the Pistons this week, as well as let's see, who else are they playing? Yeah, I like this answer a lot more because I actually have reasoning. They play the Pistons, Bulls,
LeBron argument.
Okay, Pistons, Bulls, Magic, Pelicans, Nuggets. Yeah, LaMelo Ball is my player of the week. Okay.
Good call.
Cool.
Like it.
You got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Twitter at Mason Charles Coe at AaronCo29. You know what it is. And yeah, with that being said, peace out, y'all.
See ya.